picking up garbage, and we need to beautify the community and make sure that there's no litter and trash all over the place, which is not good. So I encourage all of you to come out on Saturday if you have the time. But I do want to invite up now Professor Margaret Eichler. Professor Eichler is the Professor Emerita of Department of Social Justice at the Faculty of Education, OEC, at the University of Toronto. She is also the founder and president of Our Right to Know. It's an organization that was incorporated in 2013 when there was a need for the community to step up and speak out and make sure that science was at the forefront for decision making. In fact, I'm very happy that when our government came into place, some of the issues that were raised by Right to Know were addressed. No longer were federal scientists being muzzled. No longer was there just the short census. The long-form census was reinstated because you need good data to make good decisions. I think we can clap for that, yes. And now, across Canada, it's no longer free to pollute. Well, I'm very delighted to have Professor Margaret Eichler, and I will also just say on a personal note, Professor Eichler was my master's supervisor, yes, and she started, in fact, an entire program at OEC that focused on sustainability and social justice. So I'm very proud to have her as a mentor, as a friend, as my former supervisor, and she's going to moderate our Q&A today with Minister McKenna. Please welcome Margaret Eichler.
How did he do in his master's thesis? We can talk about that later.
Thank you very, very much. I must tell you, I'm not here because I did the stuff academically. I'm here because of my grandchildren. I am extremely worried about the type of world that we're going to hand over to them. And that's why I'm so delighted that you're here and that we have a chance to talk a little bit, because I wonder what the world will look like when they are adults. So I have a chance to ask you a couple of questions, Minister. You are the second longest serving Minister of the Environment. And
lots of gray hair.
And the first one with climate change, shall I say, responsible for climate change?
Yeah.
That's can be taken in more than one way. I wonder, in the time in which you have been serving our country, how has the conversation changed in this particular topic?
Well, so that's a really good question. So I guess it's, you want to talk about the good or the bad? Maybe we'll start with the bad, then we'll move to the good. When I started, you saw that picture. There was a consensus, largely in Canada, amongst politicians that were in government, premiers in the federal government, that we needed to take ambitious action on climate change, that we were in this together, that we needed to do things like put a price on pollution. And then things changed. Donald Trump was elected in the United States, and once again, I say these things very sad, but he decided that he was pulling out of the Paris Agreement. Now, you cannot pull out of the Paris Agreement until the day after the next election, but he made that announcement. And then you've seen changes in governments here. Now, in Prince Edward Island, they might be electing a Green government tonight. We'll see. But you've seen changes where you have conservative governments who are elected for a variety of reasons, we all know. But unfortunately, they want to fight action like putting a price on pollution, but more generally, they want to do less, as opposed to doing more. Like, we have the science. The science says we need to do more, and the evidence is a price on pollution works. A Nobel Prize winner showed that. Quebec and British Columbia have shown that. And that there's a whole range of other measures you need to do. So you can say that that's, and it's hard, right? Like, it seems like, you know, everyone's like, why are you fighting everyone? I said, like, I don't want to fight people, I want to fight climate change. But you know what? I'm going to fight for good policies. I'm going to fight for a better future. I'm going to fight for clean air and clean water and doing good things for our economy, to put us on a path where we create the clean solutions. But on the other hand, the conversation is much broader. Like, I don't think I would have seen all of you necessarily here 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. Now, some of you are longtime environmentalists, and I think that's really good. But some of you are maybe getting interested in this conversation for the first time. Maybe because you're worried about what you're seeing, about the changes in the weather that you're seeing. Because weather is how we experience climate over time. Maybe you're excited about the opportunity of clean solutions, and some of you are. Some of you have clean solutions that you're working on. But the conversation has moved from national governments to cities, because they have to deal with climate change, to businesses. The first tweet to the world from the CEO of Goldman Sachs, you might know Goldman Sachs, big bank, financial institution, was the day that Donald Trump pulled out of the Paris Agreement. He said, we need to be in. That businesses from Coca-Cola to Silicon Valley companies, but Mars, to Anheuser-Busch, a US beer company, and you can see it across the board in Canada, are all saying we need to step up on climate action. This is a huge risk, and it's an opportunity. And you've also seen individuals realizing that they can save money by being more energy efficient, but that we all have to act. And that's good, because it can't just be on national governments, because guess what? Governments change. And the world looks a lot different than it did 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever I started this job, 3.5 years ago. But we need to continue acting. We don't have a choice. And so that makes me happy, because in the US, we signed an agreement with governors that represent 50%, almost 50% of the US economy. And that includes California, which is the 6th largest economy in the world. We're working with businesses across Canada. Do you know that every major bank signed on to our Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition, saying they needed to put a price on pollution? So did major energy companies, so did major consumer good companies. Businesses are saying, put a price on pollution. We'll adapt. We'll find clean solutions. We'll be more efficient. We'll provide solutions that people will buy, create good jobs.
Thank you very much. We started out your talk with talking about the Arctic. And there's a lot of concern about greenhouse gas emissions, but of course, as an Arctic nation, we have to deal with the methane, which comes out when the permafrost is melting. So how does this figure into the policies?
Well, I mean, so first of all, I talked about the science. And the science says that our Arctic is warming 3 times or more faster than the rest of the world. And as you say, the frozen, we have permafrost, but when it thaws, it releases methane. And so it's a multiplier effect in terms of what we're seeing. So I think that just makes the case